rolled down the window, and barked, "Hey buddy, you lost? We don't see many of you around here." "Nah, I just moved in." "Moved in? This neighborhood?" "Yeah. Number 64. Got the house off Zillow." "Zillow, huh? You folks renting or squatting?" The way he said "you folks" told me everything I needed to know. From that day on, Officer Briggs made it his personal mission to remind me I didn't belong. It started small. Parking tickets, when I wasn't even parked illegally. Notes on my door saying, "Keep it down," when I didn't even own a speaker. Then he told my next-door neighbor, Mrs. Valentine, that he suspected I was selling drugs. Mrs. Valentine stopped letting her dog walk past my driveway. One day, my Amazon package went missing. A week later, I found it ripped open near the curb. Inside, a note. "Keep your ghetto trash out of Wexler Heights." I had a pretty good idea who was behind it. I tried reporting him once. The sergeant on duty smiled, said, I moved into Wexler Heights on a bright Sunday morning. The air smelled of pine and expensive lawn spray. My name's Deshaun Carter, 28, software engineer, first-time homeowner. It was supposed to be a fresh start. Peace, quiet, good schools, and no more rats running through my apartment walls like midnight marathoners. But I didn't realize I was stepping straight into the lion's den. The first person to greet me wasn't a neighbor offering pie. It was Officer Todd Briggs, a thick, red-faced cop with a crew cut and a permanent sneer that looked like someone had stapled it to his face. He parked his patrol car right in front of my driveway that first week, rolled down the window, and barked, "Hey buddy, you lost? We don't see many of you around here." "Nah, I just moved in." "Moved in? This neighborhood?" "Yeah. Number 64. Got the house off Zillow." "Zillow, huh? You folks renting or squatting?" The way he said "you folks" told me everything I needed to know. From that day on, Officer Briggs made it his personal mission to remind me I didn't belong. It started small. Parking tickets, when I wasn't even parked illegally. Notes on my door saying, "Keep it down," when I didn't even own a speaker. Then he told my next-door neighbor, Mrs. Valentine, that he suspected I was selling drugs. Mrs. Valentine stopped letting her dog walk past my driveway. One day, my Amazon package went missing. A week later, I found it ripped open near the curb. Inside, a note. "Keep your ghetto trash out of Wexler Heights." I had a pretty good idea who was behind it. I tried reporting him once. The sergeant on duty smiled, said, "Oh, that's just Briggs being Briggs. He's old school." Old school. Translation, racist fossil. But not everyone in the neighborhood was like him. There was one person who made Wexler Heights bearable. Miss Eleanor, an old white widow who lived 2 houses down. She had arthritis and always wore a pink cardigan, even in the heat. She'd bring me homemade cookies sometimes, saying, "Deshaun, don't let that officer get to you. He's been trouble long before you came here." Once, she told me her late husband was a police dispatcher and had warned her about Briggs years ago. "Todd's mean for the sake of it," she said, shaking her head. "He wasn't raised on morals, he was raised on malice." Miss Eleanor was like my unofficial guardian angel in that place, always slipping small encouragements into my mailbox. Notes like, "Keep standing," "Tall," "Son," or "Don't let them see you bend." She was the only neighbor who didn't cross the street when I walked by. There were stories going around about Briggs, whispered by the few black folks who had the courage to stay here. Like what happened to Marcus Lee, a college student visiting his aunt who lived 2 blocks away. It was a chilly Friday evening, and Marcus had just come back from the gym wearing a gray hoodie. He was on the phone with his mom, laughing, when Briggs' cruiser pulled up beside him with sirens flashing. Briggs jumped out, gun drawn. "Put your hands up. You fit the description of a robbery suspect." "What? I didn't rob anyone. I'm just visiting my aunt." "Save it. Black male, hoodie, walking after dark. That's all I need." Marcus froze, terrified. He hadn't even reached for anything when Briggs shoved him onto the hood, twisted his arm, and cuffed him. The neighbors came out to watch, some whispering, others recording. Marcus kept asking, "What did I do wrong?" And Briggs snapped, existing suspiciously. An hour later, the real suspect was caught, a white teenager who'd robbed a gas station miles away. No apology, no correction. Briggs just drove off, leaving Marcus bruised and humiliated on the sidewalk. Word got around fast after that. Everyone in our small black community knew what kind of man Briggs really was. And then there was Tyrone Jenkins, a 62-year-old mechanic who got arrested because Briggs claimed he smelled weed in his truck. The smell turned out to be a burned clutch plate from a repair job. The man lost a day's wages and his dignity. Briggs laughed about it at the diner the next morning, and people knew, everyone knew, but they said nothing. Because in Wexler Heights, Briggs was their protector. One afternoon, I was mowing my lawn when he stopped in front of my house again. "Hope you got a permit for that mower." "A permit? For cutting my own grass?" "You'd be surprised what's illegal these days. Wouldn't want any fertilizer explosions." He smirked and drove off, leaving tire marks on my curb. That night, I saw him talking to two neighbors, Mr. Hall and Mr. Reese. Next morning, I caught them staring at me, whispering like I was some kind of criminal. Later, I overheard Mr. Reese telling someone at the grocery store, "Yeah, Briggs says that new guy's got priors. Did time for theft. Guess he's trying to go straight, huh?" Priors? I'd never even had a parking ticket before moving here. The only crime I'd committed was being black in the wrong ZIP code. Things got worse after that. Briggs once followed me for 8 straight miles while I was driving to work. Didn't turn on his siren, didn't pull me over, just trailed behind like a ghost with flashing lights. When I finally parked at my job, he rolled up beside me. "Just making sure you weren't heading anywhere. Dangerous." "You mean my office?" "Yeah, you people get creative." That was the day I swore. One way or another, karma would find him. And karma came dressed like an old lady with a cane. It happened about a month later. Word spread fast. The kind of story that started as a whisper and ended up in every mouth in Wexler Heights. Briggs had stopped a black grandmother, Mrs. Althea Morgan, on her way to a doctor's appointment. Her car's inspection sticker had expired a week earlier, and she was rushing because she had chest pains. He pulled her over, claimed she was acting suspicious, and when she tried to explain, he slapped her across the face. In front of everyone. The woman didn't even cry. She just touched her cheek, looked at him dead in the eye, and said,
"You will slap people for the rest of your life, Briggs. Your hands will forget peace like your heart already has."
He laughed, wrote her a ticket, and drove off. But by nightfall, something strange began. The first incident was small. He slapped a rookie officer who asked to borrow a pen. Everyone thought it was a joke until it kept happening. He couldn't control it. His hand twitched constantly. He slapped a clerk for giving him cold coffee, a pedestrian for walking too slow, even his own reflection when he leaned too close to a mirror. And he started forgetting things. He'd walk into stores and forget why he came. He'd forget where he parked. He once left his squad car running all night in front of a bakery. Rumors spread faster than wildfire. Kids said he was possessed. One guy swore he saw Briggs slap a parking meter. Another said he tried to ticket a dog for barking. The dog barked back, and Briggs slapped himself. He became a walking circus. One day I saw him at the grocery store. He looked exhausted, bags under his eyes, sweat dripping down his neck. I tried to ignore him, but he saw me and walked over. "Carter, you think this is funny, huh?" "What are you talking about?" "You and your people. You cursed me." "Nah, officer. I don't do curses. Maybe that's just your conscience slapping some sense into you." He twitched. His hand jerked like he was fighting it. Then, smack, he slapped himself. Hard. The cashier burst out laughing. Briggs stormed out, his face red and trembling. Miss Eleanor saw the whole thing from across the store. Later that day, she came by my porch, shaking her head.
"I told you honey karma don't miss. That man's been asking for a lesson since the day he was born."
"Looks like he's finally getting it."
But you be careful. The devil fights hardest when he's losing."
Her words stuck with me, because things were only about to get worse. For him. The last straw, the one that finally sent him spiraling, happened at the precinct during a high-level meeting. The mayor and the police chief were both there, discussing budget cuts. Briggs was supposed to present his patrol report. Everything was quiet until his hand began to twitch again. "Briggs, your numbers for this quarter. Stop moving your mouth like that." "Excuse me?" I said stop. Smack! He slapped the chief across the face so hard his glasses flew off. Gasps echoed through the room. Before anyone could react, the mayor stood to intervene. "Officer Briggs, that's enough." Smack. Briggs slapped the mayor next. Cameras were rolling. The footage hit every local news channel that night. The town exploded with laughter, memes, and panic. "Slap happy cop goes rogue," the headline said. That was it. They had no choice but to take his badge and send him to St. Francis Psychiatric Hospital for evaluation. At the hospital, Briggs was a shell of his old self. They tied his hands to a string so he wouldn't hit anyone and put padded gloves on him just in case. When I saw him during a volunteer visit, he looked up slowly. "Carter, I can't stop. It's like my hands have a mind of their own." Guess now you know how it feels to be controlled by something ugly inside you. "Tell her I'm sorry." The old lady. You'll have to do that yourself. They eventually released him after 6 months of therapy and heavy medication. He tracked down Mrs. Morgan, the woman he'd slapped. She lived in a small house near the edge of town. I heard the story from her niece later. He came to her door, hands trembling, holding a bouquet of cheap flowers. "Ma'am, I'm sorry, I was wrong."
Are your hands calm now?
Sometimes, not always.
Then they've learned something you never did, to pause before hurting.
She placed her hand on his, whispered a prayer. After that, the twitching slowly stopped. A few months later, Briggs packed up his things and moved out of Wexler Heights. No one missed him, not even the neighbors who used to laugh at his racist jokes. Miss Eleanor brought me a slice of lemon pie that day and said,
"See, son, even the wicked can learn when life slaps them hard enough."
We laughed so much, my ribs hurt. Rumor has it, he joined some small-town church down in Mississippi, started teaching kids about the dangers of hate. I guess that curse didn't just slap sense into him. It rewired his whole soul. As for me, I still live here. My lawn's perfect, my driveway's clean, and my neighbors finally wave instead of whisper. Sometimes, when I'm trimming the hedge, I see new patrol cars drive by. Young officers, polite, respectful. And I think maybe, just maybe, this town learned something. But every now and then, I hear a faint sound from memory. Smack. And I can't help but laugh. So yeah, that's the story of the racist cop who couldn't stop slapping people. Moral of the story? Karma hits back, sometimes literally. Anyway, if you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep your hands to yourself.